work this time. All right, I'm all set. I can see. So hopefully,
I hate that shit. It's always some motherfuckers that doing that,
all the time.
bro. Like, who make you think I'm fucking homeless? You see the clothes I got, motherfuckers? You see the shit that we wear behind this job?
All right.
What homeless boy be wearing some J's and shit?
well, homeless dude got camcorders. Try.
Whole ass cars.
All right. No, I say they just be saying shit, man.
Yeah. Probably. You know, they scoffers. It's like
Yeah.
they just getting it. They don't know what the fuck going on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just scoffers at the end of the day. But hopefully this don't fall shit.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell this shit right there is about. Infowars, what the fuck? I haven't seen that in a minute.
Infowars.
Yeah, look at that shit.
Uh-oh. Oh, yeah.
Fuck Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Get my sign. Like, man. Yeah, they know who we are too.
You scoot over this way a little bit. All right, yeah.
Resist the mark of the beast. That's a good conversation they come over here and talk about.
They come over talking about that.
Oh yeah.
Well, names I agree with. Yes, resist the mark of the beast.
Yeah,
Hey, that's something to get on camera right there.
I'm about to say, I'm about to record this shit.
See. Yeah, I'm live now.
All right.
Man, this is nuts, man.
I'm about to say, we got to get this on camera.
Yeah, get this shit on camera, bro. Okay.
My work is for free.
This is the mark of the
It's a
beast.
privilege. Stand, Uncle Sam.
Yeah, the Infowars flags.
Right. Uncle Sam. They took our money. And they not Uncle Sam. Over half of our military is not even Uncle Sam. And they jumped us and took our money.
We don't know him.
We don't know him.
Put your hands on me.
You know what the mark of the beast is? What is it?
As soon as you put your hands on me, I'm going to kill myself. I told you I was. I told you I was.
Chapter 13.
Yeah.
Talk about a seven-headed dragon.
Not a veteran. And I'm going to get away with it. All eyes.
Who the hell is that seven-headed
Put
dragon?
on my face with your antibody.
Basically, what I'm trying to
You can kill me without even
show
touching me.
us kind of like
All eyes.
what we're going through right now.
Just a little bit in my face. That's all I have.
Mark in your right hand and in your forehead.
Can't
What the
wait
hell
to
is
touch
that
me.
mark?
You hate me so
Well, when
bad.
you go into it,
hate
that
me.
beast that you was talking
You
about
hate me.
is actually speaking about NATO and the EU
Touch
system.
me.
But when you go into the actual
What's
mark
up,
of the
big
beast,
guy? I'm gonna kill
it's speaking
myself.
about an actual thing that they're going to put in your hand, and that's the RFID chip. It's going to become a time where the economy is going to crash, money is going to go down, and everything is going to go digital. So when that happens, they're going to put all of your information and all of your money in that little chip. It's going to be the size of a grain of rice. And so it's going to become a point. It's going to become a point where they're going to force this on everybody. Somebody, I'll get it real quick. Go ahead. We're going to go to Revelation 13 real quick. It's Revelation 13 and 16, and it says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And here's the point in verse 17. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here was wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. And the reason why it's 636, because in the barcodes of the RFID chip, in the middle of it has 666, and it pretty much makes you property to this system. So they're gonna crash this. They're gonna crash the economy. All of the dollars and the coins, all of that is gonna be gone, and they're gonna put everything on that chip, and they're gonna force it. But it's up to you not to take it. You're not supposed to take it. Because if you do, it's spoken about in Revelation 14:9. It says you're gonna be in the fire, which is a nuclear destruction that's coming over here to America, because America's gonna be destroyed by World War III.
Along with these other nations too. Like you also seeing the situation that's happening in Ukraine. It's the same thing that happened with World War I and World War II. When you have a country like Ukraine that's happening over there in Ukraine, what they get over the land and resources up in Ukraine, Europe, and also America and certain parts of around the world rely on those goods and stuff in Ukraine. So the longer this war lasts, the less things they're gonna get from that country. And it's gonna come to a point where the NATO, anyone from NATO, they're gonna have to jump in. They're gonna have to send some troops in to fight them Russians. And when that happens, and it seems like the Russians lose, and the Chinese might like, know what? The Russians, my boy, the Russians losing, man. I'm sending some troops to help them. That will start some world war. It always happens that way. And they might, and it's information that they might attack Poland if the Biden keep sending in missiles, weapons to the Ukrainians. They're gonna blow it up. And they gonna blow some shit up, man. It's like what they doing now, they escalating that shit, making it worse.
Yeah. So when that time comes, only way you'll be able to go to the stores, go to the gym, the bar, or pretty much live, you'll have to have that chip. There's no other way. If you don't have the chip, they're gonna look at you as an enemy of the state. Concentration camps gonna be set up. They're gonna take you to the FEMA camps, and they're gonna eliminate you.
Brother, you out here with us, brother.
Shit, we out here.
Gave you the megaphone.
We are the microphone through the power of the Lord.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
This is prophecy from the Lord.
Yes, sir.
You know, you all see yourself on this side?
So-called Latinos, and Native American, and natives. Yeah, people that anybody that's part of the bloodline to go back to the Moors or the Moors that took over Spain and Portugal, and also parts of France as well. It's a lot of people that look like different nations, but they actually not.
Right.
So we encourage y'all to look at your father's bloodline and see if it goes back to these people. But what the elites had done, they've been doing it for many years. They changed these names right here, and they put us to this. Because there's been evidence that so-called Negroes, when they came over here, they had forms of Islam and also Judaism.
Right.
Okay? Well, which is the Hebrew Israelites. They came over there and they changed them to call them Negroes. And then they had evidence that the Native American tribes over here was also, they practiced so-called forms of Judaism. And they took them down and they put them in boarding schools so they won't teach their kids that, or they won't even understand the language that their parents spoke. And they lost all their customs.
Yeah, because you notice, they had the signs when they first stole the so-called Negroes. They had Hebrews for sale. Then that later changed from that to Negro for sale, or then Africans for sale. So the so-called Negroes over here in America, they're not Africans. They're the Hebrew Israelites.
And so at the end of the day, but like we say, this is not a skin color thing. Like we have people that look like you.
That's what it says in the Bible.
That goes back to these people. So the way that you understand if you are actually a part of this is through the Spirit. If you believe what's written in these scriptures, then more than likely your bloodline goes back to one of these 12 tribes. But let me get a quick scripture real quick. This is Psalms 83. And this is Psalms 83.
Oh, where you get the hoodie from? You had it made.
Brother, infowars.com.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I visited
Yeah, they do be on that. It says, they are taken crafty against thy people and consulting against thy hidden ones. These are the hidden people because these people don't know who they are. And then it says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. And then it goes to the different nations that had responsibility in taking these people and taking away their heritage. So that's why we out here to warn these people specifically not to take what you're promoting on that sign, which is the mark of the beast. All right? Because these people are held responsible for keeping the commandments, statutes, and laws. All right? Any people outside of this, they can take as many MOTBs as they want. They can go ahead and do it because it's not for them. This is not for them. But specifically for these people, the Lord said, do not take it. He said, do not take it. So, like I said, if you really believe in that Revelation 13 and 16, then you'll follow what he said. Because if not, you're going to be in a nuclear destruction. There ain't no way you're getting out of it. So,
You might be sent overseas to fight from Russia to not come back.
Yeah, because the draft coming back too.
Because these elite, they really know what the hell they doing with these events. Because they've been showing it on movies and games. I don't know if y'all play video games, but
program.
yeah,
There you
you know
go.
that game. You know, it's a video game called Metal Gear Solid 4 back on the PlayStation 3. They actually showed World War III without even saying it. They showed dead bodies and nothing getting buried, but that's what's going to happen in World War III. And you're going to be seeing battles that's going to be fought, and it's going to be bodies lying there.
Right. So at the end of the day, you have to acknowledge this. When that time comes, you got to make a decision. Because I'll read it. This is Revelation 14:9, and it says, hold on 1 second. And it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So this is what's going to happen, because 200 million warheads are going to be shot over here, and this place is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. In 1 hour, and whoever take the mark of the beast, they're going to be in that fight, because the spirit of the Lord is going to be within those missiles. He's going to make sure it hits every single area, so this whole place will be completely wiped out. This is going to be nothing but a big desert afterwards, and nobody is never going to live here again.
It's actually, the Bible also describes nuclear missiles as well. I'm going to put that out. If you can get there faster.
Malachi?
Yeah, you can get Malachi as well.
Okay. This is Malachi chapter. You all got to go?
No.
Oh, okay. This is
I'm very. I'm listening.
This is Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, said the Lord of hosts, and it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But here's the point, it says, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and you shall go forth and grow up as cows of the stall. So this is where you have to start fearing the Lord. You got to start doing according to what's written in the Bible. You know, you got to stop eating unclean foods. You got to stop celebrating holidays. You got to stop got to stop smoking. You know, you got to stop smoking. You got to stop getting linings. You got to grow your beard out. You know, you got to start doing the things according to what the Lord said. That's how you start fearing him, because once you start understanding this book, you understand, like, well, if I don't do this, the Lord can put me in a position where he's going to jack me up.
Can't live with the flesh.
You know? And, you know, in these weak ass bodies, yeah, you're going to make mistakes, you know, because it is what it is. But at the end of the day, you got to try, though. You know?
Yeah, you got to strive
Yeah,
to the best of your ability.
Yep, you got to really start changing your ways, because if you don't, like I said, it's going to become a time where you're going to see the missiles going to be shot over here, but in the midst of that, the Lord is going to come back on the so-called UFO. And it's going to be the largest UFO, and that's why you see all these UFO sightings and all the YouTube and everything like that. That's how the Lord is coming back. He's going to come back on the largest UFO, and with thousands of UFOs beside him, and they're going to be shooting lasers out, destroying people. But the people that feared his name, he's going to beam them up. And that's what you see in, like, the movie The Simpsons showed it.
Like the rapture.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
got
You know, they're gonna beam up the people that feared the Lord, and they're gonna be saved from the destruction. They're gonna be up in the sky out of the earth. And everybody else gonna be left down here. That's the only way you're gonna be able to get away from the destruction.
Yeah, the angels of the Most High, they operate them. They in the scriptures they really call chariots, what people ignorantly call UFOs. You know.
I might get Ezekiel since we're talking about that.
Okay. So that's what you got to do. So of course, you know, you're not gonna change overnight. It's a process. But once you come to the realization, this is what I need to do, then you got to do it. Because we in the last hour. We literally are in the last days, and anything can happen at any time.
This is Ezekiel chapter, this on the so-called UFO. Ezekiel chapter 1, verse, I'm going to start from 3. The word of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Bos, in the land of Chaldees, by the river Probos. In the hands of the Lord was there upon them. And I looked and beheld a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst there was the color of amber out of the midst of the fire. What were you looking at? This is in the ancient world. Was he looking at a plane? Were you looking at a helicopter? It wasn't nothing back there. It wasn't nothing back there.
Yeah, that didn't exist back then.
Yeah, you know, there's so many examples of so-called UFOs. They got them in, man, you look at it, you can look at hieroglyphics of Egypt, they had it.
Yeah.
They had it
All
everywhere.
of Egyptians, the last
Yeah,
Texas, brother.
You had
Right.
you
All the
had,
Egyptians, all the pyramids were put in a certain area of the earth. Worship. We bring something.
I'm finna go on to something else.
Yeah, I got back problems too.
But you out here.
It gotta be.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Yeah, I got another one. This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. Behold, he comes with clouds.
And that cloud
every
talking
eyes-
about the chariots.
Yeah, that's what
You-
it is.
Yeah.
Behold, it comes with clouds, and everyone see him, and they also which pierced them, and all kinds of, and the kind of the earth shall whirl because of him, soever. Amen. What's going to happen with those chariots, so-called UFOs? It's going to be live streaming, and everybody going to see everybody. Everybody.
There we go.
They showing it right now. There's so many evidence. If I said that talked about UFOs back in 2008, you look at me like I'm crazy. Now you see all these videos of it. People is talking about it.
Yep.
That's all I have to say.
I got one. This is Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. And it says, Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that swears shall be cut off as on that side according to it. So the chariots are going to play two roles. They're going to destroy and they're going to save. So that's what's getting ready to happen. That's why he said this is the curse that goes over the earth. Because when they finally showcase themselves full blown, they're going to be zapping people. They're going to be shooting lasers out of the chariots, killing people. Because that's what the day of the Lord is. The day of the Lord is darkness. And that's why you see things like the pandemic. That's why you see this is going on. The things in Russia and Ukraine is going on. The inflation. All of these things are happening because the Lord is slowly but surely bringing this place down. Because it's wicked. It's wicked.
Yeah, he's setting up.
You know, the president, they swear on the Bible and everything like that, saying that they believe in God, but they do everything opposite. People out here support Pride Month, you know, commit sodomy every single day. You know, women are out here getting rich off OnlyFans. You know, this place is wicked, man. And that's why this place got to go. And this is going to be one of the ways that he's going to allow it to go is through World War III and through the UFOs, but ultimately through World War III. That's how this place has to go, because he's angry with the wicked every single day. This is why we tell these people to get right, man.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to get right. If you believe in these scriptures, you got to get right. Because when these things happen, you can't say that you didn't hear this. You can't say like, oh man, I didn't know this was going to happen. You're going to be like, no, I remember running to them dudes on Michigan and Jackson. They was talking about this. Yo, you know, that's what's going to happen, you know. And then you're going to be like, shit, man. Mm-hmm. You know, that's why, like, you got to, let me get a quick one real quick. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 5, verse 7. And this is what you got to do. It says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. So tarrying means don't wait. It said don't put off from day to day. You heard this. You heard what we saying. So, hey, if you go home tonight, hey, really meditate on it. You're like, man, do I want to wake up the next morning and still continue the shit I was doing yesterday? Or do I at least want to try to put my foot in this a little bit and start growing? If you don't do that, he said the wrath of the Lord is going to come upon you quickly. It's going to happen, man. And this is why we say you got to fear the Lord, man, because this is the day of vengeance. The Most High is bringing back his name in the earth. Because that's the whole reason of this thing, man, because people don't believe in the Lord. There's a lot of atheists out here. They don't believe that nothing can happen to everybody because everybody is proud. You know, the people, they got their guns, their security, the technology, and all these different things. They feel like nothing can happen. They don't believe in the Most High. So the Most High, like, I got to bring my name back on the earth. I got to let people remember who made this earth, who put you here on this earth. He did all of these things. So he's like, I'm about to make people realize me again. And that's what's getting ready to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's getting ready to happen. You got something? I got, hold on, let me get it real quick. I think it's Revelation.
Why aren't you like marching up and down the street?
That's
No.
you know, we don't need to do all that. You know, this is it right here. The power of the internet is powerful enough. You know, people can go on their phones, their computers, they got tablets, laptops. This is why we record it. You know, record it, you can easily, at your own leisure, you can be at the bus stop just chilling.
That's their First Amendment.
And you can go ahead and look up the video and you can listen. And then, you know, of course, you know, just like how you all just walked up, you came and you saw us, and now you stopped and you listened.
Oh yeah.
You know, that was the Lord put you
The
here.
word of the Lord, of course.
Yeah, the Lord put you here to hear what we gotta say.
I can't wait.
So everything is not according to us. You know, that's why there's no free will. You know, everything is according to what he says and what he does. So, yeah, man, you know, that's why we say there's no excuse. Because like I said, you can easily, when you go home, be like, man, let me type in Hebrew Israelite, all kind of videos will pop up. All kind of videos. And that's what's spoken about. They call it the unicorn in the scriptures. Called the unicorn.
The feed horn.
Yeah, the feed horn. Yep. Yep. So that's why we don't have to march. You might see other Israelite groups doing that shit because they trying to make themselves known. You know, they trying to be seen. You know, they got that pride on them or whatever, but they not serious about what these scriptures are talking about. So it is what it is. Let me check these. Yeah, let me get that in Revelation real quick. I believe it's 1 when it says when he come back, people gonna tremble. Yeah. Oh, did you read that already?
Yeah,
Revelation
1 and 7.
1 and 7.
We come in the cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah, he brought it out.
I was like, no, you read that already.
I mean, you can read it again if you want.
Yeah, all right. This is Revelation 1 and 7. And he says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him.
Yeah, that's talking about who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ.
Right. And that's another thing. You got to call on the correct names, because his Lord, his name is not God, and his name is not Jesus or Allah or Buddha or none of those things. You got to go back to the original Hebrew. And the original Hebrew, God's name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. So you have to call on both of those names. In order for you to get back to God, you got to go through his son. So you have to call on Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Now in the Hebrew, you would say Yahweh Baha Sham Yahweh Shai, meaning Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Because you have to acknowledge the son in order to get back to the Most High. So that's another thing you got to practice too. Because a lot of people call on Jesus, but Jesus is let me get that real quick.
Yeah, the letter J wasn't around by the time when he's walking the earth, man.
I got 1611 Bible. There's no J in here. There's no J. All the words like Jesus is with an I. It wasn't a Victor back then.
Yep. So, and this is what happens. This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And that's exactly what happened during the time of the Renaissance. All of the portraits and paintings that were back then, they were originally so-called black. But during the time of the Renaissance, they came out and they whitewashed all of the images. And that's why you see the Lord as Jesus. You see him with the brown hair and the blue eyes and everything like that. But I'll bring this out real quick. But when you go into Revelation, it says, this is Revelation 1 and 13. It says, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with the garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. So he had hair in the texture of a sheep. And that's what so-called Negro people have. When you touch their hair, that's why they call it nappy, but it's actually like wool. Then it says, and his feet like it's a fine brass. What's the color of brass? Then it says, as if they were burned in a furnace. What's the color when you burn it?
It's brown.
Yeah, it turned to it turned, yeah. So he's a dark-skinned man.
He was a very dark-skinned man. And then it said, and his voice has the sound of many waters, because when you read the scriptures, he spoke with authority. Just like how we do when we come out here. Because it tells you don't spare anybody's feelings. The truth is not for everybody. The truth is going to hurt and it's going to upset and offend a lot of people. But the Lord, he had that spirit on him where he was like, I don't care about how you feel. I'm going to bring out what the Lord told me to bring out. So he spoke with authority. So when he went and taught in the synagogues and out in the streets and everything, he spoke very loud and people can hear him.
I got some scriptures.
It's just like so-called Negro. You hear them in the middle of the night down the block, man.
This is Isaiah chapter 58, verse 1. Raise, cry loud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgression and the house of Jacob their sins.
There you go. So that's what we out here doing. So this is why we come out, we speak loud. So when people walk past, they can hear what we saying. You be like, hey man, stop smoking. Stop celebrating Easter. Stop doing these things. And they hear it. They don't have to acknowledge it, but they hear it though. And that's the point. We out here to tell these people to stop sinning. Because that's what sinning is. Sinning is transgression of the law. When we ask people what's sin, they don't know what it is. They be like, being depressed and sin, having a bad job. You're like, that's not sin. You're like, sin is offending, is going against the law.
Yep.
So that's what we tell our people to do, is to start following the commandments, statutes, and laws. That's how you come back to the Lord. So, can't be going out here like, let me get that bacon double cheeseburger.
People that don't listen. This is Psalm chapter 10, verse 4. The wicked through the pride of his conscience would not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Grievous. Their judgment are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffs at them. He says in his heart, I should not be moved, for should I never be in adversary. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity.
That's right. Under his tongue is deceit, mischief, vanity. Lies, 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 man. The wicked is not in all his thoughts. The people that don't believe this, hey, they don't think about the Lord. That's the whole purpose of you being here on this earth, is to acknowledge the Lord. Do what he told you to do. If you don't do what he tells you to do, this is why these people are in the position that they're in now. This is why they live in the ghettos. This is why they kill every single week, every single day. This is why when they even try to make a chance or come up with businesses or whatever, it always fails. They never can get a chance, man, because they under the what? They under the curses. And it speaks about that in
Deuteronomy
28 and 15. It says, Deuteronomy 28 and 15, it says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And it's a long list. It goes from verse 15 all the way to verse 68. So it's letting you know how much evil and damage he was going to bring upon people if he didn't hearken. And one of the ways we can tell that we are part of this, when you go down to the last verse, verse 68, it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So when you read that scripture, it said he was going to bring a certain people again into Egypt with ships. Where in history did the Israelites go back into Egypt with ships? It never happened, because it's speaking about here in America. Because Egypt means bondage. It means slavery. This is spiritually Egypt.
Yeah, I tell you that in Revelation 11:8. It calls Babylon spiritual Egypt.
Yep, this is spiritually Egypt, Sodom and Gomorrah, and Rome.
Yeah, because the Israelites was in captivity under Egyptian in Egypt, and we're in captivity right here in this place.
All right, brother. It was nice.
Y'all going? Okay.
Thank you, guys. Hey, it's
No
all
problem.
good.
All
Hey,
right, no problem.
be easy.
Ain't easy. Look us up on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was about to say this is Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this the word that the Lord has spoke against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of earth, therefore I will punish you for your iniquity.
There you go. That's one of my favorite scriptures to go to, man, because it's plain, man. It tells you who he's here for and why he's destroying you. He told you, hey, I gave you the commandments, statutes, and laws. He told you, hey, I gave you the law, and you're going to be punished because you didn't follow my ways. He was specifically speaking to who? To Israel. And he said, look, man, I'm going to destroy you for all of that.
Yep.
And you see they ain't got the microphone out, no more.
Hey, bear with me, whoever viewing.
You see
Hey,
they
they got edified though.
Yeah, they did, man. Hey,
They learned something new. Like,
Yeah.
they learned something new. But they're like, man, they had, they probably have some other skills.
Yep.
It's on them to go look on YouTube and try to
Yeah.
find some more information.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even the one that looked like he might, he's still here and listening.
Probably.
He might be.
Yeah, I believe he is.
Yeah, because usually when Esau run up,
Yeah.
they don't be wanting to hear this, man.
Laugh when you said like, man, you can't say you didn't hear it.
Yeah, the other two probably was Issachar.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Probably was Issachar.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
man. Hey, that's why we out here.
That's why I'm waking up nowadays.
Yeah. That's why we out here. The Lord said, hey, we got to come out here and warn our people. And that's what we doing. He said, give my people warning. I can get that real quick. So, if y'all want, we probably can get ready to wrap it up.
yeah, Con.
I'll bring this one last one that we can wrap it up. It's Ezekiel chapter 3.
Hey, Satan really don't like you. Really don't like you today.
This is Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman into the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at thy mouth, at my mouth, Salakia, and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speaking to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. And this is why we out here. Because the Most High granted us with this knowledge. You know, this like y'all heard him say it. He was like, how come y'all don't march, or we do these different things, got the bad back or whatever, but hey, we got to come out here because the Lord blessed us with this knowledge, man. And we can't hide our talent under a napkin like it speaks about. We got to come out here and warn the people, because if we don't, the blood is going to be in our hands. And hey, like it says, it's better that you did know this truth and not teach than come into this truth and bullshit, man.
Hey,
So
I got something for you. Yeah, because they wouldn't even came across us who wasn't out here. This is Matthew 22 and 9. Go ye therefore to the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. So we got to go on the highways come out on the streets. The chief place of concourse, that the scripture say. So it says, so those servants went out into the highways and gathered together as many as they found, both bad and good seeds. Bad seeds and good seeds. There you go. So it says, and the way was furnished with guests. So we had to go out here and fish for the elect. Like they say, you're gonna get some good, some bad. So like I said, that's the purpose of coming out here. The highways. Oh man, look at that.
yeah, we can wrap it up.
Yeah,
man.
we're gonna wrap it up.
We're gonna wrap it up.
So yeah, that's proof. We had to go on the highways and byways, man.
Yep.
And preach the words that Yahweh shot. So yeah, we're gonna end it, man. So, so that, give all praise, honor, glory to
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Kakwadash.
All right, double honors to Apostle Ellis, the great millstone, who the Lord used to wake us up to the truth. And salutation to you, Sasaki, and push his words, sincerity, truth, and charity. That say Shalom.
Shalom.
Hit the X button on the. Matter of fact, I got it.
Okay.